Oh, g'day guys, Mick from Mick's Aussie Garden back with you again. Just out pulling a few weeds and checking to see how the veggies are going. You know, it's funny, this time of year, it's some of the most exciting times in the veggie garden, but it's also some of the most boring times. Let me show you why. Now, I'll give you an overview of the veggie garden. I've got 14 beds in, total's about 24 square metres. Doesn't sound a lot, but I'll tell you, there's a lot of veggies growing. If you can see, you should be able to see all the beds here. They've all got a covering of green. That's what makes it exciting. I planted seeds about a month ago, and a month later this is what I've got growing. I planted a lot of seeds because normally I only get about a 10% success rate. This year I reckon I've got near to 100%, so I've got lots of veggies growing. So that's the exciting part. Plant the seeds rather. A month later you come back and you've got this beautiful green veggie garden growing. Now what makes it boring though is for the next 6 weeks or so, next couple of months, I've got to just sit on my hands pretty much and wait for it all to grow. It's all automatically watered when it's not raining. I do come out most mornings with a cup of tea and do some weeding, but that's really just sort of a relaxation side more than anything. It's not because I have to come out. So like I say, this is the boring part. Exciting when you plant the seeds and they grow. Boring while you're waiting for it to actually produce. So let's have a quick look at what we've got growing. You would have seen a month ago that I planted the seeds. New dirt, so like I say, I've got best part of 100% success rate, I think. Anyway, let's have a look at what's growing. Okay, down here on the end there, I've got peas. I've got peas growing, beans growing right down the middle, climbers. And I've got some broad beans at the ends. Now closer to the edge here, you'll see I've got onions growing here. And on the far side, let me just duck you around, we've got carrots. Now, I've transplanted a lot of these, send a lot out, doesn't look like it, but they have been sent out, believe it or not. We'll come back into that. Anyway, the next bed. This side we've got broccoli. Down the middle, near the irrigation pipe there, I've got cabbage. And on the far side, I've got cauliflower. Now, along the edges, I've also got some spring onions. They were just some spring onions that we'd harvested a month or so back. Cut the tops off and I'll just pop the roots back in and they're kicking on nicely. So let's swing you around. Now in here I've got something growing in the middle. It's a brassica. I'm not sure which one. I think it might be broccoli. I'm not sure. I forgot to label it. But on this side here I've got leeks coming up. Some of the carrots I've moved. Supposedly you're not supposed to be able to transplant carrots, but they seem to be going okay. Come around this side, and there's probably not so many on this side, but I've got some shallots. Where are we? Let me show you a little patch here. Looks more like weeds, but they are shallots. Now spin you around again. This side here I've got some cukes on the end. Wrong time of year, and you can tell they're sort of suffering a little bit. And then down the beds I've got collies down this side of the black pipe, and broccoli on the other side. Some that are transplanted from the other bed. So I'm going to have a glut of brassicas, I think. Let me whiz you around once more. Second bed down from the end. Beans on the end, beans down the centre. If you can see through them there, I've got beetroot on that side. And I've got peas growing on the end. Now on this side we've just got sprinkled some flower seed. So just a mixture. I'm not sure what's coming up, but we'll wait and see. I see some alyssum coming up there. I don't know what the rest of it is, but we'll wait and see. Spin you around again. This side I've got swedes in front of us here. Peas down the middle. And turnips on the far side. They're all kicking on nicely. These were all dug up and replanted. When I thinned them out, I dug them all up and just transplanted everything. So it sort of knocked them back for a week, but we've just had a little bit more rain, and that sort of kicked them on nicely. Whizzy around again. Okay, Brussels sprouts either side of this one, and peas down the middle. I haven't got a frame up for the peas yet, but I'm working on that. Coming around this side now, I've got swedes down the left hand side, beets down the middle, turnips, and then some more cabbage down this side here. And I put up a little shade cloth thing. We haven't had frosts yet, but I'm sure they're coming. Garlic's going gangbusters. It's going really well. So some of this stuff, it's only a month old. Some of it's I'll be 300 mil high, so quite happy with the way the garlic's going. Zip you around. Now this bed here, I planted spuds in, potatoes. One's popped its head up. We'll have to wait and see. But in the interim, I planted some more Brussels sprouts. You can see them growing there, and the same with this bed here. This was spuds, but I transplanted some Brussels sprouts in the interim until the spuds pop their heads up. So I'm not wasting the space. This bed here, I put some ginger in. I don't expect the ginger to do much this time of year, but it's in, and in the interim I'll pop some carrots in here as well. Lots of carrots. Same again here, carrots. And if I spin you around to the last bed, one undercover here, my rhubarb. Now, the rhubarb I've moved from the last bed into this one and cut all the dead stuff off, and all this is new growth over the last probably 2 or 3 weeks. So I'm hoping that'll all come on. Just a couple of things I want to address. Like probably most of you, I watch a lot of gardening videos on YouTube, and a lot of the videos out now are from either the US, the UK, or there's even some Asian ones coming out now. And that's the Northern Hemisphere, and obviously their seasons are backwards to ours. So oftentimes, you'll hear somebody say, oh, well, let's plant the winter crops in September. Well, that obviously doesn't work for us here in Australia down under, because that's coming into our summertime. So that's why I'm trying to do these videos, so that this time of year you can see what I'm planting, or what I've planted, and give you a little bit of an idea what you might be able to plant as well. Obviously their temperatures are different, their weather's different. I'm down at the bottom of South Australia, so we get really hot summers, not overly cold winters. We'll get a couple of frosts, but it's not like it snows or anything. And we don't get a lot of rain. We get about 300 mil of rain on average every year, so most of what I've got here, I've got irrigated. But just to let you know that there is people down under that are putting out gardening videos. Yeah, the other thing I wanted to address too was, oftentimes, again, with these gardening videos, you'll see, people are on acreage. They've got 10 acres, 5 acres or whatever, and they can afford to put in a huge big veggie garden and all that. I'm on the suburban block. It's probably a little bit bigger than most suburban blocks. It's a third of an acre, whereas most suburban blocks now, they've got a fifth of an acre. It's about 1,200 square metres, as opposed to, I think, about 800 square metres for a normal block. But I've got 24 square metres of garden bed here, 14 different beds. Sorry, the cats are running around knocking the tripod. I know not everybody, can afford to put in the space I've got here, or do the sort of what I like to think is a bit of an elaborate system I've got going here. But it's important to start with something. I mean, even in one of these beds, I've got probably 1.5 square metres in each of these beds, the middle-sized beds, and I'm growing 4 or 5 different crops in it. And I could probably put more in. I've actually oversowed some of them, so I could have cut down on some, and I could probably get 8 or 10 different crops in. It wouldn't feed me for a year, but it certainly helps. And the way groceries are going now, one last thing I wanted to talk about was the cost of the beds I've put in. Now, I've been lucky in that I'm in a country town, so a lot of the stuff I've been able to source for nothing. The materials to make the beds, like the corrugated iron, I got that down the local tip, and there's always people around town re-roofing houses or whatever, so corrugated iron's not a problem. The posts to hold it all together, again, I sourced them for nothing. There were some old treated pine posts that It came out, I believe, from an oyster bed. So they cost me nothing. The only thing I've really had to pay for is the timbers on top and the screws to make the beds. Now the timbers, they were sleepers. I got them from Bunnings. They cost me, I think, about $18 each, and I've used 2 for each bed, so $36 for the capping. And the screws, well, probably $10, if that, $10 per bed for the screws. So what's that, $46? The only other thing I did spend money on, and it's because of where I live, the dirt here, well, the soil here, it's not really soil, the dirt here, the top layer, the top 6 inches or so is just dust, and after that it's really just dead dirt. It looks really good. If you get down deep enough, it digs really nicely. It's a nice red loam, but there's just no life in it. So I have lashed out and bought dirt to fill these beds, and it cost me, I think, in total, to do the whole bed and to fill the bed with dirt, each bed's probably cost me about $80. So that's not bad. When you look at what I can grow in a bed, I think that's pretty good value, especially when you're looking at probably $4 for a packet of seeds, and a packet of seeds will last you a couple of years. You're not going to use them all in one hit. And what you can save as compared to buying the stuff at the supermarkets, I think it's a no-brainer. Put in garden beds, put in veggie beds. Even if you can't do something on this scale, pots on a veranda. Get some big pots and just put them on your veranda. The other beauty is you know what you're eating. It's fresh. You know there's no chemicals in it, so the cats are going past the tripod again. And you can pick it when you want it. You don't have to buy at the supermarket. You got cabbage, you use half of it, the other half throws out. You can use it when you want to use it. So to me, it's just a no-brainer. Grow some veggies. Okay. Anyway, that's it for today. No big walk around the yard. You've seen the veggie garden, see how everything's growing. Give you an idea what it costs me to do and why to do it. So you guys have a good day.